A Sick Gray Laugh release day Q&A. And welcome here. This is the release day for my second novel, A Sick Gray Laugh. You see the paperback here, and there are ebook versions as well, of course. And to celebrate the release day, I am fielding questions from readers on Facebook and Twitter. So without any further ado, let's go to our second question, which has to do with the novel and gun culture, specifically the gun culture of the Midwest. So this question comes to me from Richard Gerlach, who posted it on Facebook, and here is the question. He says, in terms of the book's commentary on gun culture, what made the gun commentary part of the main plot? It feels disconnected at first until it becomes part of the rising action. Was it something you always planned, or was it a way to give the novel some levity? Which, to understand how levity plays into commentary about gun culture, you'll have to read the book. I don't want to get into spoilers too much. But let me kind of take this question one bit at a time. Let's talk about how a passage of satire can fit into a work that has aspects other than satire, or how aspects of social commentary or philosophical commentary or sociological commentary can fit into a chorus of different voices that yields a unified whole. When I wrote A Sick Gray Laugh, I did so after having read the works of Milan Kundera. And Milan Kundera is known for writing the novel The Unbearable Lightness of Being, which is a title that everyone hates, but it's a great book. And he also wrote this, The Art of the Novel. And I was inspired by the approach that he advocates here, where Kundera talks about the so-called polyphonic novel. And so if you think about the word polyphonic, I remember that there was that musical group a few years back called the Polyphonic Spree, and it had all these people singing in harmony. And the idea of the polyphonic novel is that you can have different aspects of text coming together to create a united whole, but they have different voices that are kind of in harmony. So you can have, for example, taking A Sick Gray Laugh, you can have a part of it that's kind of like a novelistic essay. It's an essay, but it only really works in the context of a novel, of that particular novel, in that particular world. And so you have little bits of nonfiction, little bits of satire, little aspects of more serious fiction, and they're all able to blend together because you've taken a lot of care to arrange it so that they all blend together. And that's what I was attempting to do with the novel, is to write a polyphonic novel. And the other aspect of a polyphonic novel is that it typically doesn't take itself entirely seriously. And so, yeah, and the kinds of examples that Kundera talks about in this book, too, are things like Rabelais or Don Quixote, this kind of thing, where there are kind of stylistically different sorts of playful aspects intermingling with the more serious ones. And certainly in Kundera's own work, you see that, where he'll depart from ordinary fiction to give you something metafictional, or something that looks like an essay, but it really is fictional, but it's like a fictional essay. Difficult for me to explain without referring you to specific texts and maybe writing a piece about how this works. But I was inspired by that. So that's kind of where it came from. I thought, the other thing is, it's consistent with the whole, in that I wanted to talk about how the world around me seems to be devolving steadily. And so one of the aspects of that I can see when I go to the store is people open carrying guns. When I say open carrying, I mean they have it. They're it's like they're in a Western movie. They have a holster, they have a gun, and they're walking around the local grocery store buying cabbages and sweet potatoes and steak and Twinkies while they have the gun holster on. And that's something that's inescapable for me, because it's not something I see every day, but it's probably something I see maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And whenever I see it, it does make an impression. So because it's part of my world, it's something that was going to be included in the novel, and included in kind of this, there's a satirical aspect that this takes on, which I'm not going to reveal because I don't want to give away the spoilers, but that kind of makes it fit in with this theme of a constantly degenerating world. So anyway, that's my answer to that question. I hope that answered it for you, Richard. All right, now on to the next question.